So, since I'm working on a couple of bigger videos right now, I thought it would have been cool to, just look back on the gaming flop of the year, that is Concord. Concord. Everybody knows it, but nobody's played it. Estimated to have cost around and taking about 10 years to make. This was Sony's latest attempt at trying to make the next generational multiplayer game. And they really thought Concord would have been like the next Overwatch or Destiny or online Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess. And let's just say that didn't work out. Can't blame them for trying though. Yeah, they gave a robot pronouns, but I mean, they released Helldivers 2 just a few months ago. And so, about a month ago, they released Concord into the wild, hoping it would make them billions in microtransactions. Then about 2 weeks later, it was found dead next to an alleyway. But that's Sony for you. Always finding new ways to mess up a good thing. But today's video isn't about the Sony Cinematic Universe. I'm saving that one for another video. Today we'll be looking back at the list of things that somehow lasted longer than a multi-million-dollar game, just so that we can truly understand how much of a flop this was. The common housefly, known to many as what could arguably be God's worst creation, can live to about 15 to 30 days, which means a creature known for literally sustaining itself off of shit has lasted longer than a multi-million-dollar game. Yeah, I'm starting to think they have a lot in common now. Yeah, we're using ChatGPT for this one because I just can't calculate all of this. I'm sorry, I'm not a Discord mod, so yeah, I failed the Discord exam, so I couldn't become a mod. Anyways. Okay, so if you watched about 8 hours a day, which in itself seems extremely challenging to do because, I'm sorry, some of us have jobs. I don't have a job. It takes you around 3 weeks to binge watch everything. This means that if you were like, I don't know, an extreme superhero fan and you really wanted to dissect the differences between Marvel and DC and which one truly is the better cinematic universe, it would take you about 3 weeks to do all that. So this would technically take you longer to do than Sony could keep this game alive. Yo, how many sales did this game make? Hold up.
Oh my goodness!
Okay, so this part might need a lot more explanation than the other ones simply because of how f***ed up it is. But in 1932, after World War I, war veterans who had survived the war were given free land by Australia to basically farm and feed the country. But around 1929, the Great Depression happened. And so the Australian government basically forced them to grow way more crops than they could just to feed the country even further, because everyone's starving, of course. And what's crazy is the land that they were given was in the middle of the Western Australian wilderness, which of course attracted a bunch of emus. They're basically like ostriches, but more violent, I assume. A lot happened in this entire situation that I won't go through because of course it's way too long. If you really want to know more, just watch the Salmonella video on it, it's actually quite funny. But because the emus were invading the land and eating the crops, the Australian army stepped in. Alongside the war veterans, they went to war with the emus, shooting them down and hunting them to ensure that the crops keep growing. And sadly, in this great war, only about 0 humans died. And almost 1,000 emus were killed. But given the fact that there were approximately 20,000 emus in the entire area, it was essentially just a waste of bullets. And so, at the later half of 1932, the Great Emu War finally ended, and the emus declared victory. This war lasted a month, a week, and a day, which was somehow over double the time that Sony kept this game alive. Which means that a war with emus in the middle of Australia lasted longer than Concord. Yo, rest in peace to my emu homies though, they fought the good fight. You'll be missed, boy. You'll be missed. Assuming you had warm clothes and, a place to sleep, you could technically last 3 weeks in the Arctic with no food. Crazy. So picture this. Imagine I pre-ordered Concord and then for some reason the Yakuza busted into my house and kidnapped me by plane. And then I managed to escape and fell in the middle of the Arctic. It means that by the time I get rescued and leave the Arctic, the game's already offline. You think I'm like tweaking when I say this, but I swear that's probably a story out there. People are weird. I mean, if you haven't seen Australia, people are really, really weird there. Speaking of Australia, again, Ricky McGee survived 71 days in the Australian outback with no food, equipment, or even shoes. What's crazy is the fact that he doesn't even know how he got there. Some people think that he was, picked up by a hitchhiker along the road who drugged his drink and left him there in the middle of nowhere with dingoes scratching at him. I don't know what the hell a dingo is, but it's very Australian. Anyways, my point is, this man survived longer in the middle of the outback with no food, equipment, or even shoes, and even he lost it longer than the multi-million-dollar game that is Concord. Jesus Christ, Australia's messed up, dog. Speaking of Jesus. So to the Bible readers out there, that including me, Jesus remained on earth for about 40 days after his resurrection. Then he ascended back to heaven. In this 40 days, Jesus taught and ministered his faithful followers in what must have been an intensely powerful experience, preparing them for his ascension to heaven. Which means that it took Jesus longer to teach his disciples about what to do when he leaves than Concord lost it online. Yeah, I don't have any jokes anymore. This is just kind of depressing, actually. Yeah, Sony execs, they deserve to rot in hell. So yeah, that's a list of everything that lasted longer than Concord, technically. I'm gonna head out to make better videos now. Cool. I don't know how to end this video, so yeah, see you next week when I review Fortnite Chapter 2. Because, I need the views.